Today on Shop Talk New Mexico, we're serving up something sweet with the Great Western Pie Company. Known for flaky crusts and timeless flavors, their pies are more than just dessert, they're tradition. Join us as we explore their story and why New Mexicans keep coming back for another slice. This is Shop Talk New Mexico. I'm here speaking with the owners of the Great Western Pie Company. We have Ron Brunetsky
Correct.
and Jim Perche.
Yes.
Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Good. My French is a little bit rusty. But anyway, I wanted to sit down here and talk with you because I know that you're over at the Los Ranchos market, and that place gets a lot of business. I've seen. I've been by there, and I've actually interviewed one other person that displays their goods out of there. You familiar with Canine Treats?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ricky, our dog, is familiar with Canine Treats.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Well, I've interviewed Donna Kay from there, and we've got her video up on YouTube.
Excellent.
And when I get finished editing this and putting it up, I will put an end card on there that will direct people to her video also.
Oh.
And then the next video that I do, the end card will direct to yours.
Okay,
And
very
that's
good.
just kind of the way I do it. Other people do it different ways, but that's the way I've found works the best. So anyway, I wanted to talk with you about your company, the Great Western Pie Company. How'd you come up with that name?
Well, we wanted something that kind of gave an old-timey feel because we feel pies are kind of part of Americana for many, many years. And so the Great Western Pie Company just made it sound like, well, we're out in the West. It's a company. We thought about factory, but that sounded too staid and formal.
Kind of industrial.
Yeah. And so we just thought we liked the name Great because we think we're pretty great. And then just Western Pie Company,
Right. Sounds like a great name. And that also answered my next question about what kind of inspired the name. So what makes your pies unique to New Mexico? Is there anything in particular that's specific to the New Mexico culture?
We make a few pies that have New Mexican flavor to them, but unique to New Mexico, what's unique is actually the quality of our pies and the finesse of the crust. But we do have some New Mexico flavors that we will entertain at times.
And we use local product. I mean, local fruit, and we grow a lot of the produce that we use in our pies here. So they're very New Mexico that way. But we have an orchard in the front there, and then berries off to the side, and that sort of thing.
And a big rhubarb plant.
And a big rhubarb plant. And rhubarb is very popular.
I'm sure it is.
And even though it's not a New Mexico plant, it's more from the Midwest. There's a lot of people here that really like it, and it's one of our most popular pies for the growers market, at least.
Well, that sounds great. Great.
The main New Mexican pie that we do make is green chili apple.
Green chili apple.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
And I think it's also the state pie, I believe, or has been considered. But it's a wonderful pie with the heat of the green chili and the sweetness of the apple. But green chili apple is, I would think, our most New Mexican pie.
Okay, kind of a cross between Dixon and Hatch, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Take us through the process from recipe to finished product.
So we research recipes all the time because we're looking for our main focus has always been we like to compete in pie contests and in cooking contests. And so to do that, you have to have a lot of experience and you have to have a lot of practice. And so the pie company kind of grew out of the fact that we were trying, what do we do with all these excess pies? You practice a pie, you can't eat them all. So the selling them was the way that we continued to make more pies and practice our recipes. And plus, we had an audience that was kind of testing them. So we research the recipes and find recipes that we think will work. Most of the pie contests that we compete in, they have to be our recipes. So we're going to change recipes up. Ron just did a ancho chili pecan pie, and he saw the name magazine or someplace. And then when he started working on the recipe, he realized, well, I like my pecan pie a little better this way. And so he kind of just used the ancho chili, but the rest of it he did with his pecan pie recipe. So it really changed it up and kind of personalized it. So of course we start with the recipe. The ingredients that we use are all the best ingredients that we can find. Like we use half of gold medal flour and then we use King Arthur flour because we don't feel that either one of those flours create the best pie. But when you blend the two of them, then you get the result. Same thing is,
And that was as a result of trial and error.
trying it. Yeah.
Sure.
Our pies have been a lot of trial with a lot of error.
And so a butter crust, an all butter crust tastes great, but it's really a little harder. It's not as flaky as what we like in our pie. So we use half Crisco and half butter and in our recipe. The water, or how we
Moisten.
moisten the dough, we use vodka and water because the vodka evaporates, and so you're just left with the flakiness because the water goes away or the moisture goes away. So all of those things come into play when we're getting the dough ready and prepared. So then after we've mixed it up, then it has to sit while the gluten's
Sets.
sets.
Yeah.
So the gluten has to set. And so then we usually do it a day before. Like right now, I'm doing this pie. It's due tomorrow that I just rolled out while you were setting up. It's due tomorrow, but I needed to get it in the refrigerator because at least 2 hours. Overnight's better, but at least 2 hours for the gluten to set.
And then I'll kind of interject a little bit. Our pies really didn't, in my opinion, didn't really become as good as they are as a result of trying to compete. We had a lot of people that kept saying, would you bake a pie for me? Because they'd taste one or two and they'd say, I'd like a pie for Thanksgiving. And so we started getting a larger clientele, and it was their feedback saying, oh, this is the best pie or whatever. And so for me, at least, my focus was on trying to get as many people addicted to our pies as possible. And then the pie competitions started many, 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 many years before we made this little company up. State Fair, Pie Town, and the national pie competitions in Orlando. And we kept getting better and better at those. And so it kind of paralleled our focus.
Yeah, I would say
clients, making sure that they really loved our pies, and that they were then, I guess we needed a little bit of extra proof for them that, look at this, we've won the top award at wherever. And in fact, we're probably winding the competition part, in my opinion, down and just letting us now enjoy the pies. They've got a good reputation. Let the people who love them keep ordering from us, and maybe we get new folks every weekend at the growers market when they come. So that would be my focus more than
Sure.
developing for the competition.
Sure. Do you ever concern yourself with your pies going viral
You mean
and just everybody wanting them?
so far that hasn't been a problem, but if that became the case, we'd probably just say store closed.
The reason why I ask that is I've tasted your pies and it's very good. Yeah, I mean, I really, really liked it. One thing that my wife wanted me to ask you, and so I would be in big trouble if I didn't ask
Sure.
you. Do you do anything gluten-free?
We've tried. It's very difficult to make a gluten-free pie that holds together because the crust doesn't have the gluten and a lot of the other components that make a pie crust what it is. The only kind of pies I've made successfully is using gluten-free cookies, grinding them up, adding some butter, and using a little cookie crust. So it has no gluten, but it also has no finesse. It's a gluten-free crust,
Right.
but it's not really our crust. And there's a whole cadre of people that make good gluten-free crusts, and so far it's not us.
Okay.
You know, like
Okay.
you can take Cheerios and grind up Cheerios, and you can make gluten-free crust out of Cheerios, and you can flavor those. But you know, our pie is about the flakiness of the crust.
Sure. Absolutely.
And a lot of people turn our slice of pie around, eat the crust first, because
It's so
almost
good.
anybody can make a filling. You know, I mean, it's
Well, kind of.
yeah, but it's easier to make a filling than it is to
Yeah.
make a crust.
Yeah, I guess if you were making crusts with cookies and Cheerios, you'd call it the Great Western
Cereal.
cheesecake
Yeah.
company. Huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if they really want a gluten-free pie, it's not in the works just yet, because I would
Sure.
want to do one that's a rolled out crust using tapioca flour, rice flour, and some of the other gluten-free flours. But I haven't had the time, or we haven't had the time to finesse it and really figure it out. It's like chemistry.
Right.
That's why I majored in chemistry. I like formulas and putting things together, and this would take a lot more work. And I looked at some gluten-free recipes online, but they haven't really cut it for me just yet.
Sure. So I guess it would be safe to say that there's nothing that's a substitute for gluten that mimics the characteristics of gluten.
We haven't found it. I think there are professional bakers that do that. There's a lot of bakeries that have a lot of gluten-free products, and then you can almost not tell they're gluten-free. But that's after years and years of expertise and practice, and that's
A lot more trial and error.
yeah. We would
Yeah.
have a lot more errors at the moment, and
Okay.
and if we had a heavy demand for gluten-free, maybe we'd work on it a little further. But we do disappoint a few people here and there saying, no, it's not gluten-free.
Right. Right.
But even the gluten-free breads, they're not.
Oh, they're not.
They're not.
I can't
and
stand them.
So compare that to the pies. It's like they're just not.
Right.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my wife, like I was saying, my wife has gluten allergy.
Yeah.
And she buys gluten-free bread and gluten-free cookies and all that.
And
And for a
cakes.
while, I tried to I'll just suck it up and eat the bread and cookies and stuff that she buys. That didn't work because I couldn't stand the taste of it. So
Yeah.
so we ended up just his and hers.
Yeah.
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 So
Exactly.
yeah, and so I can get my real bread now and my real cookies and
And
that sort of thing.
some people want dairy-free pies, and we put butter in our pie crust, and that just, if we were to put margarine or some of the butter substitutes, again, it's not our line of expertise, and so for that, we'll just say, well, we make a glutened, dairied pie.
Right, right.
So I just donated some 2 pies for an auction in Ohio, and the first question I got is, "Do you make a gluten-free?" And I'm like, "No, we don't. I will, but it's not up to the standard of Great Western Pie."
Right.
So you might be happy with it if you eat gluten-free; it'd be fine with you, but it's not up to our standards because it's just really hard to make a gluten-free pie crust.
Sure.
Yeah, especially a double crust pie. A single crust would be a little easier, but the crust that goes on top to bake with all that fruit in there and to hold, I think it would be a huge mess. But we're open. We can try it at some point.
Okay. Now I asked the question for my wife. Now I'm going to ask the question for me.
Good.
Do you make a pistachio pie?
I make a pistachio, I called it a pistachio dream pie, which took first place at the state fair. It's a labor of love, but yeah, it's a pistachio cream pie. But I certainly could make a pistachio pie that's made like a pecan pie.
Like a pecan, sure.
Yeah, and that would be very easy to do. The cream pie is a technically very difficult pie, and so that's not something we sell.
I see.
we try to keep the things that we sell technically somewhat easy, because otherwise I'd spend all 3 or 4 hours making like a lemon meringue. I make a great lemon meringue, but it's labor intensive. So we kind of limit some of the kinds of pies that we know we can make, but to spend 3 or 4 hours on one pie is not.
No.
It's too much work. With
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not worth the
You would
pain.
love it, and that would be satisfaction, but it's too labor intensive.
Right. Right. So ingredients, are there any that you have to bring in from out of state?
Well,
Or
some of our fruits that we can't grow here, we do. When we run out of our own pie cherries, we get pie cherries from Michigan or from Washington. I've gotten boysenberries. We can't grow boysenberries here, so we get those from Washington area, and we have them shipped in frozen. These are companies that supply fruit. But as
Wild Maine blueberries.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you can buy them at Smith's or any grocery store. I shouldn't.
Sure.
Yeah, you can buy them at any grocery store, but we try to use wild Maine blueberries along with our cultivated berries.
Right.
And again, blueberries do not grow in New Mexico.
Okay. I noticed that there's a lot of prickly pears out there. Do you make a prickly pear?
No, it won't. It won't hold up.
It won't.
No, he's made a prickly pear syrup before,
Okay.
but prickly pears, but the fruit themselves is so juicy. It's not a pie fruit that
You have
would
to
work.
you have to add pectin. It has no natural pectin in it, so you can add strawberry or something that has a higher pectin in it. But it's a very difficult fruit to work with, and I tried it multiple times. And the reason I made syrup is because my jellies didn't set. So
So we call it prickly
You
pear
know what?
syrup.
I had the same problem with mine. My jellies didn't set either.
Yeah,
so
so we call it a syrup. Yeah,
I ended up with several jars of syrup.
yeah.
So-
But that's,
Luckily, at the
but that's
time,
not one thing we would.
the
consider.
margarita, the prickly pear margaritas were very popular at that time, so I gifted them, and everybody thought I was on the cutting edge of the fads that were going on. But,
Oh.
it's just because my prickly pear jelly did not set. But
Right.
But not a fruit for pies.
no,
Okay. You said you were talking about competitions that you've been in
Yes.
and shows that you've displayed in. Fairs coming up. Are you putting something in there?
No, I retired from fair competition. I've been a judge for the last 7 or 8 years. I judge pies, cakes, breads, cookies. It's a lot more fun for me being a judge.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had won enough ribbons and best of show that I thought I'd rather kind of get into the judging aspect. I mean, he's a horse judge, and
Okay.
I decided, well, let me do more judging, and it was better. There's a lot of people that love to win as many ribbons as they can. I have them somewhere in a drawer somewhere. I'm sure some people have them displayed all over their walls, but it was time for me to basically say, I'm done with competition locally. And in fact, I'm going down to Pie Town the second Saturday in September, and that'll be my last Pie Town competition. I've won it best of show 2 years in a row now, and I've won it 2 times before that. And I think it's time for me to say, I'm kind of going more towards the company route or a bakery route, and they don't really want professional bakers.
Sure.
I'm not there yet, but I feel it's time to say adios
Right.
and
Right.
just be a judge.
And so Pie Town, for the benefit of our viewers, is out west of Socorro, past Magdalena, about I'd say halfway between Interstate 25 and the Arizona state line. If you ever get a chance to go out there, it's quite an interesting place to go.
Yeah. And the festival's fun. That's when there's a lot of people there. Otherwise, Pie Town has almost nobody in it. But the festival is full of pie events and 3-legged races for the kids and all kinds of stuff for kids. It's really a family-oriented festival. And on the side, they have a pretty intense pie competition where there are a fair amount of pies.
And when is that?
It's the first Saturday after Labor Day weekend. So it's the second Saturday,
Okay.
basically, of
So it's
September.
It's coming up here
pretty quick.
in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think it's the the 13th.
Okay, I'm going to make it a point to get out there and cover that, so that
Yeah, I think
so we
you'll
can-
you'll really enjoy
so
that.
we can put another video up on YouTube.
Yeah.
So anyway, challenges. What kinds of challenges have you encountered getting this started and running it, and how have you overcome those?
Well, we've always made pies for people, and we just decided we have some friends who run the growers market, and 2 years ago we just said, well, she invited us to come and sell our pies there, so we did. We didn't have any name; we just were selling pies off our table, and we did it last year. And finally, we decided. Jim said, well, let's think of a name, and he's actually the one that kind of orchestrated the whole business aspect of it.
So I have a friend that's also a horse judge, and she has a bakery, and she started her bakery before she got her storefront. She started at a grower's market, and she was telling me how she did. So I had seen her the progress and what she had done. She doesn't make pies; she does breads. That's her thing. But I just thought it would be fun, and it would be something that we could be, kind of involved in our community. And we have met a lot of people at the growers market, and they're regular customers now. And we're meeting more and more, but they come specifically to buy our pies, and we visit with them. And then Ron's
It's really
been
nice.
on the Blue Ribbon Baking Show, and so they watched that. That was on Netflix, and he was a contestant on there. And so there's that celebrity aspect. They want to come see the pie guy that made competed in national baking contest. And but it's fun. I mean, we have people that we never knew before that check in with us and kind of
They ask us, what are you making next week? Can you
just
reserve a couple of slices for us? That kind of thing.
just
Right.
have become friends that through the pie and the growers market, and so we kind of like that. And we don't have any investment into it. So if we want to go to Colorado, which we did last weekend, we just go.
Yeah,
and
just go.
when I go to a
Sure.
horse show
Yeah.
and I can't be here, then we just don't participate.
Right.
So there's no
Nothing holding you down.
mortgage or anything
No.
that's
Yeah.
all in it. So
That's why it's a business, but it's really a side business that we
Yeah.
just enjoy.
Yeah.
And if we lost the enjoyment, we'd say, well, we're not going to do this anymore. But it's still very enjoyable, and people enjoy our pies. Just as a sidelight, today we had one of the featured pies was a rhubarb pie. And a man and woman that we know came by, and that was the only pie we had left. He says, oh, I hate rhubarb. Oh, I'm not going to touch that. But his wife bought it. I said, taste it. He ended up eating almost the whole pie.
Really?
Yeah, he was just
Oh,
scarfing.
rhubarb pie is delicious.
Yeah.
He was
really
sitting there at
is.
the table just scarfing it down while she was visiting with Ron. I'm not sure she got very much of it.
It's one of those that's the kind of events that we really enjoy, to see if we
It's
can change
kind of-
somebody's mind and watch their face light up a little bit.
Yeah, when we can turn them on to something that they're not used to, and they taste it, and they're like, "Oh, this is really good." And we've learned too. You always hear strawberry rhubarb. Strawberry rhubarb is kind of the standard, and we found through the growers market, because that's what we made originally, is that people wanted just rhubarb, and we quit making the strawberry in it. Ron did have an orange rhubarb last time.
Yeah,
That
was
was
Orange
a-
rhubarb.
Yeah,
was really
and
good.
that was really good.
That sounds
But
like
that
an
was a
interesting
new-
combination of tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a new one and kind of practice. I think he'd do it again.
Wow. Sounds great.
Yeah. So again, it's always an evolving process. And today we had a brand new pie, the ancho chili pecan pie. I've never tasted it, and so I don't know how. Nobody came back and said anything bad about it, but we sold out, and I think I'll make it again next week. But I've never. It was a little unusual selling a pie I've never tasted, but I knew when the way I put it together and the way it baked in the oven, I said, "Oh, I think it's going to be a good pie."
I think the satisfaction for us is we had a lady that came 2 weeks ago we were out of pie. She came at the end of the market. We were out of pie. So then she came last weekend. Well, we were in Colorado. So she came today and she made it in time and she bought a strawberry pie. And I just got a text from her about an hour ago and she said it was the best pie she's ever eaten. And now she wants to order it for her birthday party because she's not going to do a cake. She wants to do a pie.
Let's do a
because,
pie.
because it was so good. So
So
that's the satisfaction that we get out of it, is sharing that
Sure.
sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And it was kind of a standard strawberry pie, but Ron's perfected that recipe, and it's very popular. And it's pretty too because it's bright red and all that, so it looks good on the table.
Right. Right. And so people can find you over at the Los Ranchos Growers Market. Is that correct?
That's correct, on Saturdays.
And at this point, you're not showing anywhere else. Just
No,
there.
and then they can call us and order pies,
Okay.
and we'll either bring them the whole pie to the market, or we've arranged a lot of time for people to come and pick them up. Thanksgiving is our busiest time. I have about 10 clients that every year I know they're going to order 2 or 3 pies. So
Sure.
we're pretty busy at Thanksgiving, but we
And then
enjoy
we
that.
ship too.
He ships.
Okay.
He's got all these fancy boxes
Well,
for
I
shipping.
ship.
Okay.
I don't get involved in that
And
at
it's-
all.
It has to be frozen. It goes in a styrofoam box. These are shipping boxes specifically for pies, and so we can ship all over the country.
Oh, that's great.
And
That's great.
we don't do it a great deal, but we do have that capability.
And do people order these through your Facebook page?
Usually, they're friends that know
Okay.
that have followed, my private Facebook page and know that I bake pies. We bake pies, and then they'll want a particular pie. I want to know if we make it, and
Sure.
ask if we ship, and so it kind of grows. It's that way.
Okay.
We never developed a website necessarily because we didn't want that much volume.
Might be
And it might be
quite a bit.
scary.
we kind of like the volume we have now.
Where it's very controllable.
Yeah.
Sure.
But if there's more people that want our pies, we can figure the logistics out on how to increase the pies that we do make. But it really is just a home cooked pie with enjoyment more than for the financial aspect of it.
Very good.
So
Very good.
our is it our logo or byline or what do you call it? Is homemade pies like you wish your mother made.
Okay.
Because we felt that when we started out that the art of making pie had kind of been lost, and people tell us all the time, oh, my grandmother made the best pies, or I remember my grandmother's pies. A lot of times our mothers worked, it was a different time, and so they didn't develop the skill, and things had changed, and so we had a guy today that said, oh, my aunt made the best pie, lemon chess pies. She made chess pies just for me. So Ron had made a lemon chess pie, and he bought it, and we could see him in the parking lot eating it. He came back with his little container later. He said, that was just outstanding. It was so good.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
you bring people have that memory of back when they were a child of really good homemade pies. And so we try to keep the homemade aspect of it.
Oh, very good. Yeah. I think that's an important thing. People get tired of
Commercial.
industrial commercial
Yeah.
type
And the
presentations.
commercial pies you get in the stores, well, the ingredients and the way they're put together, it's all for volume and not for taste and finesse.
Sure.
So we enjoy bringing back a almost lost tradition. But when you go to if people go to the state fair pie competition is the last Sunday of the state fair. That's tough competition. There's an amazing amount of great bakers in New Mexico, and they all come. And it's like I say, it's a lot more fun being a judge, and you're looking at all the contestants as you're tasting their pies, and you get on the microphone and explain why this got a third or second or first. But New Mexico has some hellacious pie bakers, and it's much more fun to be judging them than to be competing against them, because a lot of times they beat me.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to the fair.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing all of the entries in every category.
Oh yeah, it's
At the
it's great.
fair,
They lay them all out so you can see them, and it's live judging with the audience right there. I love the state fair, so I'm
Right.
going to be judging chili a week from yesterday. No, yeah, on the 5th of September, I'll be judging
Okay.
chili, and then the next week is all the baked goods. So I'll be judging a lot
On
of
Tuesday, next Tuesday, we'll be judging all the jams and jellies.
Oh, very
We both
nice.
do that.
Yeah. and that's a
so-
closed judging. There's no
because
there's no
they do
audience
that
there.
ahead of before the state fair opens up, so that there can be displayed.
Right.
And because they last, and so so we'll go in on Tuesday and judge that.
Sounds like so much fun.
I love
It really
everything
does.
about the state for me is fun. I grew up in Albuquerque, and state fair was always the time I looked forward to the most because we always got to go, and we got a half day off from Albuquerque Public Schools and spent our whole half day or even more at the state fair. Love the state fair.
Right. Right.
Total proponent. If you've
Well-
never been to the state fair, you are missing out.
So for people out there, if you haven't been to the state fair, New Mexico has a fantastic state fair.
Absolutely.
And gentlemen, I want to thank you very much.
Well, this is fun.
Thank you.
for
Appreciate it.
talking
Very,
with me.
Thank you.
You
And
bet.
I'll get this on the chopper and
Yeah.
chop it up and pull some stuff off of
Hopefully
your
it'll be-
Facebook page and
Hopefully it'll
put on
be
there.
put together nicely and
Yeah, I think we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do just fine with it. Something that I'm gonna put in here. So for folks who have dogs, don't forget to check out Canine Treats with Donna Lassuski. You can find that link right here. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Appreciate it.